All right. I first wrote Grave Clothes out of a spontaneous moment during our spiritual emphasis week in 2018, and I was really just kind of like in this moment of I believe the message that was preached was just talking about like new identity, like moving forward with Christ. And we got up for the altar call and we were just starting to sing. And I remember these words that just kind of formed in my heart that says, I'm going to shake off my grave clothes. I don't need them anymore. And so out of that, I forgot about it, but we've got amazing people in our booth that write down a lot of the spontaneous flows that just kind of happen. And I remember that specifically, so I asked about it. I said, do you happen to have this? So they sent it to me and I read it and I'm like, oh man, that's just, for me it was so, it was speaking to where I was and just like shaking off like the old identity that the world tried to put me in. Because back in the old days when they would bury people, there's a specific type of linen they would use. So when you saw it, you knew it was for burial, you knew it was for grave. So it tied you to death. And so when I looked at this as like the things that I used to be identified with, the things that I were tied to, I get to shake that off because I don't need them anymore. I have a new life in Jesus. I get to move forward in His resurrection. And I get to move forward in what He's called me to be. And I don't have to look at the past. I don't have to be identified with that anymore because that death is not a part of my life anymore. I've got a new one in Jesus. So that is Grave Clothes. That's why I wrote it, is just to encourage people. Just like, you don't have to stay where you were. You don't have to stay rooted in what you were in. And you don't have to let people tell you that defines you anymore, because it doesn't.